Here we are. This is our drivetrain off of our centrifugal clutch up here down to our transfer box with our idler sprocket in between. I still have to make some adjustments. This is just sitting in here. I need to actually weld the bolt in so it's in tight, and I think once that is welded in tight, that will also tighten up my chain a little bit. I have just a little bit of slack in the bottom if I can get my hand under there, but you can see that that slack is because the bolt that holds it all together is not tight, and that will be taken care of, I'm pretty sure, once I get this welded. So I'm gonna weld this bolt. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld this spacer sleeve which goes through this bracket, and then I'm going to weld the bolt head in place, and then I'll put it back together again and we'll see how it is. Hopefully, but that looks a little bit cockeyed, and it might be just a little bit cockeyed too. That looks better there, like that. Well, hopefully once it's all welded in place, it'll be solid, and then we got to do the cleanup and the paint thing, you know what I'm saying? And I had thought about just putting a stainless steel self-locking nut on there, but this button looks so much better. You know, it's chrome, man, it's chrome. And so it'll get put on with some Loctite, just like that bolt will get put on with some Loctite. And I have, this is a grade 8 bolt that I bought to put on here, and I'm probably going to buy another sprocket, because this one here is the original one that came with the lawnmower back in the day, and it has one bad tooth in it right there. See that? Yep, it's not good. And that's the reason why I have on my idler for my transmission over here. Where are we? There. That's a brand new idler sprocket. So I may just get another one of those to use for my sprocket here on our drive thing. So once we get this done and I get that all installed permanently, the next chore, I've already started some other stuff, but my next chore is going to have to be to do exhaust. But I already have my foot pad in place here, and these will be getting mounted on the bottom. That's to keep our feet from sliding off. In spite of the fact that we have non-skid, I feel better with having something holding the back of our heels, especially for my grandson's sake. And I have my brake pedal temporarily mounted on here, just temporarily, because I have to hook up my linkage and so forth down underneath, which is laying here on the bench. That's what that long rod is, and I can't really completely finish that until I get my rear end in place. So those things I've got just mocked in place, so I know where I'm headed with that. And you can see also over here I have our battery hold down, which goes up on here just like that. Yes, sirree, Bob. That's an old vintage wrench. Don't know what brand it was or what it was used for exactly, but it set up for square nuts on both ends. So I welded a square nut on this side and welded a square nut on that side. Nice and clean from the top, you know. So, yep, one more step in the process, you know. And so yeah, our next project, I'm going to stop babbling after this. So I want to get that bracket all cleaned and painted. My next project is to start working on the exhaust. And I've already been tinkering with some ideas. A while back you saw me using these pipes, and I find that those pipes will actually slide over the pipe that I have been using right here for the exhaust, which are handlebars. So I'm not sure if I can make it kink around the corner or not, but we'll see what we're going to do. I can at least get it over this part, and if I can just use this and put my flange to weld it on to the bracket, the flange welded on here for bolting to the engine, then we'll be in good shape. So that's where we're at today. This is Monday. What is it? September the 17th, I think. Of course, you know, one of the issues I'm going to run into now, coming back around here to look at our clutch setup. Too big to just cover the clutch, but it's too small to cover the clutch and the sprocket. And so I'm thinking I may end up having to make a shroud that will come and cover all of these three, this sprocket, and this sprocket here. So you hold on to your hats and we'll see what happens with that whole project. Till next time, this is George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, saying thanks for watching, for commenting, and for subscribing. Bye for now.
Shade Tree Fix-It Man, I don't need any helping hand. I'm a jack of all trades when I'm working in the shade. I'm a Shade Tree Fix-It Man. I'm a Shade Tree Fix-It Man. I don't need any helping hand.
Look at my tree now. They have wiped out all the berries. They've come, they've conquered, and they've gone.